Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and colleagues. Thank you very much for the committee's hard work, and I'd like to accept the committee amendments, making sure that we remove as much stigma as possible, let toys be toys and let kids be kids. I respectfully ask for a vote.
Thank you. I have two witnesses in support, Rob Smith and Britton Sires. Are you with us on the telephone? Rob Smith?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. Okay, great. Thanks for including me in this conversation. And first of all, a little bit about me, just my background. I own a brand called the Phluid Project, which is a gender-neutral fashion brand. And before that, my history is I worked for Macy's for 22 years, among that overseeing Macy's buying and merchandise for kids. After that, I was the chief product officer for kids globally for Nike and Levi's. So I have a good experience in this area. So what I want to talk about is this bill and why I believe it's important, especially for leaders like the state of California, to move forward with it. So it's really about, I mean, it was up to me right now. I would, in the kids department, because kids have all the same size bodies until they hit puberty, essentially take down boys and girls signs and let kids shop where they want to shop and parents shop where they want to shop. But that's a major move. This is creating a gender neutral space is the beginning of the movement, and really creating what I think is, as California continues to do, creating a safe and affirming space for kids who don't fall into this binary idea of what it is to be a boy and to be a girl. In a recent visit to a major department store, the girls department, I want to give you an idea what it's like to walk into a girls department. It says, follow your dreams, smile, stay happy, be you, love is the way, be cool, be kind. The boys department says, legend, you are epic, future hero, make today count, you will conquer the world, dude. So what's happening in department stores and retail spaces is these gender stereotypes cause serious, long-lasting harm. 60% of parents say so. What we're trying to do here is create a space in the middle and create a space for kids to and parents to shop safely and shop without gender stereotypes. You know, it's already happening right now in big box retailers. Target's shifted their entire merchandising for the toy departments away from gender and into categories. And I'm working with, as a consultant for large retailers who are looking into this space and working to figure it out and trying to figure out how to make it happen. The way I look at it is by doing this, it's actually pro-business. It's going to keep jobs and retailers in place because the direction is moving this way. And you're just helping convert customers who would normally shop in big box retail spaces who will migrate to digital direct-to-consumer spaces and buy online instead of buying in stores. So it's not just the right thing to do for humans, but it's also the right thing to do for business. That's what I have to say. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I also have Britton Sire.
Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Britton G. Sires, and I am 9 years old. You may know me because AB 1084 began in my mind. To some of you, this bill is about LGBTQ plus rights, and to some of you, this is about gender stereotypes and gender rights. I've made myself familiar with both. AB 1084 will require a gender-neutral section in department stores. Kids have these years to figure out who they are and their gender identities. These years are hard enough without boys and girls sections trying to conform their heart in a little box. I hope this bill will make all the kids who don't fit in society's box smile. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. All right. Then we will move to opposition. I have Matthew McReynolds of the Pacific Justice Institute.
Yes, good morning, Chair and members of the committee. Matthew McReynolds, Senior Staff Attorney at the Pacific Justice Institute Center for Public Policy in opposition to the bill. One of the main reasons that we're in opposition to the bill is a concern with where this would take the Unruh Civil Rights Act. To this point, our landmark civil rights law has focused on denial of services as well as accommodations and privileges in business establishments. This bill would do something very different than that. This would take the Unruh Act in a direction where significant fines and attorney's fees could accrue, not because anyone is denied a service, denied the opportunity to purchase the goods that they seek or to enter the establishments that they seek. As the committee analysis points out, there's no evidence that that is actually happening. What this would do is take the Civil Rights Act a direction where a customer's subjective experience of feeling uncomfortable with a store's layout would subject that store to onerous penalties and fines. And now we see that even the notice provision and opportunity to cure has been removed from the bill. Secondly, I would just point out that the U.S. Supreme Court addressed a very similar issue 10 years ago when the California legislature had tried to help parents, quote unquote, by restricting access to video games. And the U.S. Supreme Court in Brown versus Entertainment Merchants Association struck down that attempt and noted that parents don't need the help of the legislature to pick out appropriate toys for their children. There's no limiting principle in this bill, so one can only guess where it will lead next, although, as one of the supporting witnesses just noted, some in support would suggest that even telling kids to follow their dreams is discriminatory and stereotypical and needs to be eliminated. So for all of these reasons and others, we respectfully oppose the bill.
Thank you. Is there anyone here in the hearing room who would like to indicate opposition to AB 1084? Seeing none, how about the witness video room or the remote testimony site? Seeing none. All right, operator, would you open the lines for anyone who would like to indicate opposition to AB 1084?
Thank you. If you wish to speak in opposition to AB 1084, please press 1 and then 0 at this time. I currently have about 4 in queue. It'll just be 1 moment for the first comment.
Thank you.
And we'll go to line 60. Please go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Chair and members. Dean Graffilo on behalf of the California Retailers Association. While we oppose unless amended on AB 1084, look forward to continuing the conversation with the author and his staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Line 92, please go ahead.
Yes, Craig Burt from the California Family Council in strong opposition to AB 1084.
Thank you. Line 91, please go ahead.
Hi, Tony Rosales from Capital Research on opposition to AB 1084.
Thank you. Line 93, please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Ben Broca, and I am 8 years old. I think shops should not have boy and girl sections because I think boys and girls can wear and play with whatever they want, and it doesn't matter because there's no such thing as boy and girl things. For example, I wear unicorn clothes all the time, and I have to buy them a girl section, which I am fine with, but unicorns are not just for girls, and I think it's wrong to have boy and girl sections. Please support AB 1084 by Assembly Member Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you. Line 78, please go ahead.
Hello, this is Stephanie Silla, concerned citizen, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have no further comments in queue at this time.
All right, thank you. Operator, you may close the lines, and I'll bring it back to the committee questions, comments. Ms. Gonzalez.
I like where you're going with this bill. I'm a little concerned, and maybe you could explain to me. It would seem, just as somebody who spent a lot of time in children's departments, that a lot, especially that 8-year-old who just called, I'm thinking of that 8-year-old. Is there a reason, the gender neutral seems, I get it, but is there a reason we're just not requiring a combination of kids' clothes, kids' toys without a designation? Because I think the tougher step in having had different children choose different things to wear. The gender neutral tends to be boyish clothes for girls, right? Trying to satisfy, for example, a boy who wants to wear clothes that are labeled as girls, whether it be pink shirt or dress, that is much more difficult because of the signage and because of the expectation. So I just want to know, like, is this a one-step approach, or are we, it just seems to me, I just was like, let's get rid of the labels. And while we're at it, just to think about the future, standardizing sizes between boys and girls, clothes and shoes is a key component of all of this, being able to kind of wear what you want and for parents to be able to shop accordingly. Just a suggestion for maybe future legislation, but I'd like to know your thought process in creating a gender neutral category rather than just saying, let's get rid of the boys and girls aisle.
Thank you very much, Assemblywoman. As you may know, I spent quite some time meeting with the retailers and learning about and hearing from different specialties and the nuance about how they would organize a number of the different categories. What you're suggesting is something that I think we'd like to go to in the spirit and the intent of what you're discussing. But the bill that we have is trying to not be so prescriptive, to allow for the retailers to do what they already are doing. The bill before us doesn't change anything. This applies to 500 employees or more, and they're already doing it back in 2015. So the attempt was try to not be too prescriptive, but I share with you the desire that you have specifically on just allowing for the individual and the consumer to make the choice accordingly in an organized fashion. So I share that, but the bill before us was to try to attempt to not be too prescriptive and just to allow for the individual retailer to organize accordingly as they sell fit.
Thank you. Other questions, comments? Seeing none, Mr. Lowe, you may close.
I respectfully ask for a vote.
Thank you. I am looking for a motion. Thank you. And a second? And a second. Thank you. That motion is due pass as amended to appropriations. Call the roll, please.
Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Gallagher? No. Gallagher, no. Chow? Chu? Davies? No. Davies, no. Gonzalez? Aye. Gonzalez, aye. Holden? Kalra? Aye. Kalra, aye. Kylie? No. Kylie, no. Mainshine? Reyes? Aye. Reyes, aye.
That needs two more, so we'll place the bill on call. And then item